Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
It's time for Tip-Off Tuesday.
I love the five. I really like this group.
Richardson to the basket, tough lay-in, and one!
A wide open three is good.
Part of being a good leader is having guys who are willing to follow.
They compete. That's the one thing I've noticed. They get after each other.
Dante flush!
Indy top left. Three is good. Indy Rogers.
What I really appreciate about them is they do want to just play.
And that's what happens when you bring it every day in practice. You become a disciplined, reliable player.
This is Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Let's talk Oregon Ducks basketball. From the Country Financial Studio, alongside Terry Jonz, here's Joey Mack.
Rivalry week in the Evergreen State. Both Oregon programs heading to the state of Washington. That's the way the Pac-12 schedule fell this year. Wednesday night. Quick turnaround for Oregon men's basketball. Yeah, they missed an opportunity against UCLA, but the latest bracketology on ESPN from Joe Lunardi today has the Ducks, if the tournament started today, as one of the first four out. You keep taking care of business down the stretch, I think Oregon's going to like the position they're in. 8 o'clock on ESPNU, a 7:30 pregame from Seattle tomorrow. I will be leaving mid-show today and handing the proverbial show car keys to Terry Jonz the rest of the way because, well, I got a plane to catch with Oregon men's basketball going up to Seattle, and then 4 o'clock on Fox Sports 1 on Sunday, Oregon against Washington State. And the women up in Washington also.
They aren't letting you be the pilot this time, right? Because
No.
last time it didn't work out very well.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. The women, by the way, Charlie Cream, bracketologist, has the women still as a 10 seed, but they're the last four getting a bye. So that means you better win, all right? And they're so close. They're so close. 7 o'clock Friday night in Pullman against Washington State. And then on Sunday, it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in Seattle against Washington. By the way, those of you listening in Eugene on the radio, both games will be on KUJZ 95.3 FM. So a little change. Got baseball. We got men's and women's basketball going on. So thanks to Cumulus for working that out.
Yeah, and on Sunday it'll be a doubleheader. It may work out that it rolls right from Terry's postgame show into my pregame show from Seattle and then from Pullman. So we'll see how it works out across the Oregon Sports Network, and then always available via the GoDucks app and the Varsity Network app, wherever you want to tune in from. Today, Armon Gates had a great conversation with the Oregon men's basketball assistant coach. One of the funniest things, he's one of those coaches that puts the penny on and gets out there during the scout when they're doing a walkthrough.
He still can.
This was fun. This is a fun answer coming up from Armon Gates. Meanwhile.
All right. Kelly Graves. I got to talk to the big guy yesterday. And then earlier this morning, Taya Hanson, who transferred from Arizona State and coming in here now to Oregon, her final year. Boy, would like to have her some more.
Yeah.
But she's going to go on and have a pro career and then come back and take joy in my job.
I said
because
that.
she could.
I said that to Rob Mullins, Oregon athletic director, today. Like, Taya's going to have my job when she's done playing.
She's a natural.
Yeah.
She's a natural. Yeah. We mentioned off the air, she reminds us of Storm Kennedy. So those of you who know
another Cumulus
personality,
connection.
personalities in Eugene, of somebody I worked with for a long time. Her personality is just like Storm, so we all love her. So
big comparison.
They would all love Taya on the air, no doubt about it. She's
big
fantastic.
Comparison. Love that. So a lot to come. So we're going to get a break, come back, hear a little bit from Armon Gates, getting ready for the Ducks traveling to Washington. The quick turnaround on a Wednesday after a game they feel like they could have gotten. We'll talk with Coach Gates about that. It's Tip-Off Tuesday. We continue next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a Duck, always a Duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. With remarkable checking, My OCCU mobile banking, and nationwide ATM access. If you're a Duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans. And lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/remarkable.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 16 convenient locations across Oregon and Southwest Washington. Contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
This is Tip Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
I've been driving trucks for a long time, and safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Tip-Off Tuesday presented by Toyota. Earlier today, as the Ducks are actually practicing right now, if you're live with us in the 2 o'clock hour, Ducks are practicing right now, then traveling to Seattle this afternoon. Talked with Coach Gates this morning, the Oregon basketball assistant coach. Part one of a great conversation with the Oregon assistant. All right, so when I scheduled this last week with Coach Gates, I said, hey, Coach, last time we had you on, it went pretty well, so let's try to, will that into existence. I'm doing my part for the team, Yep. 1-1, it's not a bad weekend, but I feel like you guys maybe feel like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, it could have been a great weekend. Felt like you had an opportunity on Saturday.
Oh, we definitely did, and we spoke to our players about the opportunity that stood in front of us, how we, we controlled our own destiny at that point. And as coaches, of course, we want perfection. We want to go 2-0, but we knew in all reality that as long as we split, that we will still be in a great position. With UCLA being, their net being one of the top in the country.
Yeah, they're good.
We knew we were going to be in good shape, and that's it was going to be a tough out, but. We're still in good shape, and we got to look forward now.
I think it's interesting. People like me, right? We'll sit here and analyze the big picture on a Monday morning. I always joke, Coach, that the Monday show is the easiest for me to do because I've got 3 days worth of stuff to talk about. So and I'll break down the net rankings and the Pac-12 standings, all these things. I know you guys are looking at these things, and certainly you're aware of it. Coach talks about how that you'd be blind if you're not seeing these things. How do you talk about that with individuals on the team? Do they get a little bit kind of tight? I don't know. How do you approach that?
Yeah, you know what? Different coaches I've been with had different approaches. What I love about Coach Altman, he lays everything out on the table for the team. He lets them know where we stand. He'll write the standings on the board. Let the guys know, again, we control our own destiny. Everybody else, let them handle their business. But we have to handle what schedule's in front of us. Yeah. One game at a time. We still talk about one game at a time, but we still the overall picture because we have an end goal. Right. And the end goal is to make that NCAA tournament, something they missed last year. So got to get back to it.
Well, it makes sense, right? I mean, I say all the time, there's a reason that quote-unquote coach speak exists because if you don't try to take it one game at a time, it can get overwhelming, and that's where you miss details on a scouting report, right?
That's absolutely correct, and that's where attention to detail. It's the little things, and just to relate that to our team, it's those little details that sometimes we struggle with. And once we fine tune those, and we're getting better, and again, it's a staple of Coach Altman's teams now. They get better towards the end of the year, again, those little things add up, and the important things to those the important details that we're missing. It could lead to that one possession that we screw up on in a game, and at the end of the day, is it that free throw you miss, or is it that one little assignment? No, it's a course of everything throughout the course of the game. But again, those little things totally add up.
In scouting reports, I've always been fascinated watching Coach Altman in particular, and I talk to the TV broadcasters a lot, as you've seen at Shoot Around, and I got to tell you, without fail, especially color analysts that haven't seen a Coach Altman shoot around maybe as often as some others, they're always like, whoa. That's next level. Can you give perspective on that, Coach? Because in your career and now in your first year working with Coach Altman, what makes him good at that? What makes him good in a shoot around scout?
You know what he really stresses, again, the little things that we need to do, and with those little deals, those little details, they add up to the big to the end goal. And he knows what it's going to take to win that ball game. He knows it's going to become at the end of the day rebounding. The toughness aspect to the game. Like UCLA, we knew the first time we played them, we had them in the first half. And we knew what happened in the second half. They totally just out-toughed us and out-physicaled us. And they really crashed the glass and beat us on that glass. Second chance opportunities really hurt us. And then it came back to hunt us again this last game against UCLA. And, our guys, we hope we get to see UCLA again. Because we know after that second time when they got us again with the physicality and just walled us up underneath the basket and made everything tough for us, turnovers, but those details right there are what makes Coach Altman special.
He talks about second chance points and points off turnovers. I feel like anytime that the Ducks aren't successful, it's usually one of those categories or both of those categories. You alluded to, in the first half, it went really well. So what was the key in the first half? You talked about what didn't go right in the second half. What did go right in the first half?
Oh, the first half, we were making shots. We were pressuring those guys defensively. We limited them to one shot opportunities down the court, and we were +6 in rebounding at half. But guess what? At the end of the game, we were -6. So they absolutely kicked our butt in the second half. But that first half, I think we were juiced up. We were ready to go. Attention to detail. And I just think their style of play really took over the game, where they slowed it down, and they really just, again, they just locked in defensively, and their defense just locked us up a little bit.
Armon Gates joining us, Oregon basketball assistant coach. So, it's one thing to say, okay, points off turnovers, these are the keys to a game. So now there's always a lesson to be learned in each game. What do you attack in practice with those categories in mind? How do you as a staff go about trying to improve in that manner?
Absolutely. So first of all, when in the course of the game, the heat of the battle, you always think about it may come to one possession. So our motto is really win today, teach tomorrow. Okay, win today, teach tomorrow. We don't have time to bicker back and forth. Hey, win today, teach tomorrow. So honestly, at the end of the day, when we're in that huddle and we're talking as a staff, we're talking as a team, we're just trying to just put the pieces together, because things aren't going to go well. It's adversity. It's that road, how are you going to respond, when you get punched in the mouth a little bit during the course of that game? You have to bounce back. You got to have that short-term memory, bounce back, and come together as a team and get the end goal. And again, that's what Coach Altman preaches, and that's what the staff, we kind of sometimes get on a tangent in the course of the game. Richardson misses a shot, or there's a turnover versus a press, and we'll start bickering towards each other. And that's part of a team, and it's healthy confrontation. But at the end of the day, you have to mesh together just to get the end product. And that's to win that game.
It's interesting you say that, because as a coach, it's interesting. Sometimes maybe you just want players to listen to what you say, and immediately they just get it. But then the other side of that is you'll kind of like when they ask questions.
Absolutely.
Right? There's got to be a give and take there when you're teaching somebody.
Absolutely. And it has to be the right way. It can't be, a malicious attack towards or someone taking it personal, because you have that. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you can take that personal as a player and as a coach.
Sure. So
sometimes and as the coach, you have to slow down, take the deep breath, and have your team relax a little bit. And that's one thing I'm going to tell you right now. Coach Altman always says in the huddle, all right, everybody's take a deep breath. And I promise, if there's a moment of silence there in the huddle, and everybody regroups, and that's a big part of the key to success that we've had.
It's really interesting hearing him talk about what goes on in the huddle and on the bench. I like to ask some of those questions. We've got more. I do too. He wants to be a head coach, and he's
I can see it.
Learning from the best.
Yeah, you bet.
His brother, very successful head coach in the SEC. So runs in the family for Coach Gates. We continue our conversation with Armon Gates when we come back. Yeah, so he's still a guy that puts the penny on. We're going to talk about that in scouting reports when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
It's time to play Perfect Food Pairings, brought to you by Mountain Dew. This dish pairs perfectly with the bold citrus kick of Mountain Dew.
Oh, street tacos.
Sorry, that is not the answer we're looking for.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Sorry, that is also not the answer.
What the heck?
Is it chicken wings? Correct.
What? Wait a second.
Yeah, hold on. Mountain Dew pairs perfectly with street tacos.
And Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
This show is so lame.
This show is not lame.
Yeah, you're lame.
Nothing pairs perfectly with food like Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
You're listening to Ducks basketball on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. Call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
We are back on Tip-Off Tuesday, presented by Toyota. Going to continue our conversation with Armon Gates. We're in the Country Financial Studio. Terry Jonz with me. I'm Joey Mack, and then we've got a trip up ahead. Pretty much after this, I'm going to the airport because the Ducks are finishing up practice, and then it's one of those weird Wednesday games.
Yeah, they won't leave without you.
We're talking with Coach Gates. Continuing part 2 of our conversation with Coach Gates. You know these jokes probably, right? Like there's the old adage in Bull Durham baseball movie where, you go out on the pitcher's mound and you say, hey, this would make a nice wedding gift. Like there's a lot of jokes about that, I feel like, in like pop culture about sports. But really, that's not a very long amount of time that you guys have in a huddle.
No.
I mean, how much information gets crammed into that conversation?
It's a ton, and you kind of have to bounce, you have to back the coach up, with the things that he's talking about. You don't want to go talk about something totally different. You want to kind of add to the piece that he's really hitting on, but then sometimes there is a key moment where you want to remind those guys. Scouting report, fellas, remember Tubelis likes to go left. Remember this. Remember Jaquez, he loves to shot fake. Stay down. He's going to pivot, shot fake. And again, it got us in foul trouble a little bit, but those are the things that we always try to remind the guys, the keys to the game, the keys to the scouting report, all those little tidbits that we know. Sometimes as young men, they're going to forget because the excitement in the crowd, maybe families in the crowd, maybe they missed the last jump shot, so we have to reel them back in. So
I'm curious, Armon Gates joining us. Sorry to interrupt you. I was just thinking, like, one of those keys that sounds so obvious, free throw shooting.
Ooh.
Guys have gotten a lot better at free throw shooting, actually. That's a big deal, isn't it? Talk about little things that make a difference.
Huge. And again, after every practice, Coach Altman, he really emphasizes free throws. Guys, get to that line, make 25 before we leave. And it has improved. He'll put guys on, and sometimes we'll run after, and every team does it. Miss a free throw, everybody run. Right. get back to the line just to get the heart rate back going. Because in the course of the game, you're shooting those pressure free throws.
Yeah, you're not shooting a free throw when you're calm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but it was a big improvement so far in this year. And again, the little things add up. And as you can see, these games is coming down to one possession.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 possessions, and free throws are huge.
And if I'm not mistaken, 3 and 2, I think, in games decided by less than 6 points.
Ooh, you know what? I don't know that stat.
I think that's what it is. I'll double check, but I think that's what it is, and that says something, right?
I'm gonna trust you on that. I'm gonna trust you on
winning
that.
Those games it's valuable, right?
Big time.
Like I thought, and I'm curious your perspective. Like I thought that winning the game at ASU, a close game on the road, I thought that was a big step forward.
100%. We needed to win a game that came down to the, when everything.
You're tight,
kind of tight. I was gonna say, when things aren't going right, we needed to win one of those games so the guys can know as we continue to navigate through that adversity that we can do it.
Yeah.
Thick and thin. Look to the man to your right. Look to the man to your left, and count on that guy. Yeah. And that's what we did.
Armon Gates with us. I did want to ask you just the difference that N'Faly Dante can make, particularly early in a game. Like we've seen it so many times this year where he's dominant in the first few minutes of a game, and I feel like it just changes the entire complexion of a game. How big of a deal is that moving forward?
Oh, my gosh. He's the key to our team. When he plays well, when he's rebounding the ball, when he gives us that inside presence, that inside-out presence, I mean, it's huge. His athleticism, his strength, and his voice is heard in that huddle. And I promise you, when he's playing well, our team play well. And he's used to the team, and even in practices, if he's motivated and into the practice, we have an unbelievable practice. But when he's quiet and down, we don't have a quite good a practice as we usually would have.
That's interesting. I mean, he has such an energy about him. Like we all see it.
Hey, listen. He's a crowd favorite. You see when he get those and ones, he'll shimmy, he'll blow kisses to the crowd.
Right.
He's a crowd favorite, and those are the guys that coaches love to coach, that teammates love to play with because of the passion he brings.
Yeah. Since you and I last spoke, 2 more guards, much healthier, in Jermaine Couisnard, Keyshawn Barthélemy. We know what their scoring, their defense can do, but I'm kind of curious, like, how much does it help Will Richardson just from, and I hate to use this phrase because I know it brings up some bad feelings in the NBA, load management. But, it is, right? Like Will's not the primary ball handler on every possession. He can play off ball. How much has that freed him up?
It takes a huge load off of Will, all the pressure off of Will. For the first quarter or first half of the season, the dude was playing 40 minutes a game. Yeah. And we were so surprised that teams weren't pressing us and getting the ball out of his hands, and because he was really our only guard that was out there, that could really create, and it's taking a huge load off of him. He's able to rest a little bit now instead of resting on defense. Now he can actually take a rest on the bench with us for a minute or two. When we select, and pick and choose when the rest will.
Right around those TV timeouts.
Absolutely, and it makes the staff and the team feel much more comfortable.
Sure.
With more experienced guys out there.
Makes sense. Armon Gates, couple final thoughts. Washington, what's the difference in playing on a Wednesday? I mean, the obvious is, well, you have one less day to prepare, but so do they. I mean, how does the schedule change?
You know what? Kind of our mindset, and when I say the mindset, we have to jump on a plane. We have to, pack. We have to get on that road, and it's one less day to prepare, obviously. But again, after a loss, it gives us a chance to play right away, get that bad feeling out of your system, and take your anger out on another opponent.
What's the report on Washington and some of the keys to success?
You know what? A very good team, a really good guard on their team. He's a 4-man transfer from Kentucky. Kid can really light it up, averaging 18 a game. We have to shoot the ball well. We have to make great decisions versus their zone, their 2-3 zone. Since Hopkins is a protege of Boeheim, so we really have to focus on not turning that ball over, getting good attempts up, and not settling for all outside perimeter shots. Try to find that honey hole in the middle of their zone, and again, draw 2, make shots, crash the offensive glass.
Coach talks about the honey hole a lot.
Yes.
And had you heard that before you got to Oregon?
Never.
See, I've had so many people ask me, like, they'll hear Coach talk about the honey hole, and they're like, what does he mean? right under the free throw line in the middle of that zone.
You have to find it. You have to find the weakness of that zone. And that honey hole is the perfect analogy. You know, when you want a player to grab their attention so they can know honey hole, you think of a beehive and you think of all the holes in there. Hey, I got to find that little hole. So that's something that's going to stick. I'm telling you right now, it's going to stick with me for the rest of my career, you know, because it's a perfect analogy. That honey hole. That sweet spot.
It's one of the analogies and Coach Altman-isms, if you will, that I still hear in my own mind all the time. I'm going to leave you with this. You're also a coach, like many others on the staff, that'll get out there on the scout team.
Absolutely.
How much do you love doing that
Oh, my gosh. You know what? That's one of the best things that I love to do because I get to get out there and talk a little trash to the guys. And if I make a shot, trust me, they're going to hear it for the rest of the night. They're going to hear it for the whole week, actually. You know, just yesterday, Coach Mike asked was I was on a scout team for Washington, and I told him no. And he said, well, fellas, hey, you guys are in good hands now. Coach Gates won't make any shots on you. So, you know, we could crack a little jokes, have a little fun, and just lighten up the monotony in the room, you know, and just you know, enjoy it and take the little load off the guys, you know, the pressure off of them. So.
I see the smile on your face sometimes when you're out there, even before like the Ducks are actually out there against the scout team. When Coach Gates is going through walkthrough, I'm telling all of you, he's got a smile on his face, like, okay, so what are we doing here? How do we mess these guys up? I mean, it's fun to watch. It's been really fun to watch this year. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it. So I wanted to ask you about it.
I definitely appreciate that.
Well, hey, thanks for being here.
Hey,
appreciate it. I'll see you on the tarmac.
Hey, and I do got to say this because my wife, she'll get me now. I got to tell her happy Valentine's Day, you know, to the wife and you know, to all the ladies out there. Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, and you just gave everybody the reminder who had forgotten. Today is Valentine's Day. Yep.
Absolutely.
So it's a travel day for us, so I pushed it to Thursday. You understand.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so the 16th is the 14th this week. if my wife is watching and listening. Armon Gates, hey, thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joey Mack, for having me.
Whoa, it's Valentine's Day? It is. Okay. All right. I love you, honey. Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, Joey Mack put his pilot's hat on. He's heading to the airport. So coming up next, we're going to talk women's basketball with the big guy. Kelly Graves here on Tip-Off Tuesday after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. With remarkable checking, My OCCU mobile banking, and nationwide ATM access. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans. And lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myOCCU.org/remarkable.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 16 convenient locations across Oregon and Southwest Washington. Contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
You're listening to Tip Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
Or your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday. Terry Jonz, Joey Mack he's on his way to the airport. He came back. He forgot something. He's back. We haven't forgotten, though. We're talking women's basketball. Head coach Kelly Graves talked to him yesterday morning. Weekend in Los Angeles, and tough games, close games, but another couple losses, unfortunately. But this team's still fighting.
Yeah.
Still fighting.
Yeah, we are. We are. Disappointing weekend. Obviously, we didn't want to go down and lose two. Had a chance really in both. We just, when it comes to crunch time and the time you got to make the plays, we just don't seem to be making them, and our opponents do. Nobody feels worse than I do as a coach, my staff, and except for maybe the players. I think they feel worse. They know. They feel the pressure. They know that people, think that we should be doing better or whatever. So it weighs on them, I know, and I feel for them. I feel for them, and I'm trying everything that I can as a coach to navigate us through this. I've been doing this a long time. I've never been in this situation. I mean, think about that. In every stop that I've been in as a coach, I'm either building the program, but once that program has been built, we've stayed up or near the top the entire time. We haven't had this little slide back. So I'm scrambling. I'm relying on every coaching colleague and psychologist and friend that I know to kind of get through it. But I am an eternal optimist. Those that know me, they know that's the case. Actually, I got a little bit of realism in me as well. But I firmly believe we still got a chance to figure this out before the end of the year. So you got to move on. You got to keep grinding, big guy.
Yeah, I know your associate head coach, Jody Berry, has been with you for years and years. I remember when I first met her, she goes, that guy's never had a bad day.
No, I've had some more recently, but it is the truth. I mean, I really do believe in this team, and I believe that we're going to, at some point, it's going to click, and then once it does, I really do think we can play some really good basketball.
Yeah, 5 losses in a row, can't sugarcoat it, but they're all been close, and they've all been to teams that are within the top 4. There's a 3-way tie for 4th place, 2 of them, USC and UCLA. They're the top 4 teams. All those losses. This conference is so good and really good up there and down toward the middle and the lower middle.
Yeah, it really is. I think if I had to evaluate the conference, I don't think it's as good on the top as it's been. Okay, where Stanford was just dominant, or us for 3 years, just dominant. But I think what's happened is the lower portion of the conference is tons better, and then the middle has improved. So top to bottom, strongest conference in the country, and like you said, it's tough night in and night out. There is no gimme.
Yeah, both games over the weekend, the third quarter, and I'm not saying this is a trend, but both the third quarters was when the other teams, USC and UCLA, made a move. Part of it was turnovers in those quarters, and then they were able to capitalize on them. Not a trend, it just happened.
Yeah, and it is. I don't know if it's a trend, because look, early in the year, and even the first part of conference, I thought third quarter was our best quarter.
Yes.
We would come out, and that's where we would make the separation, and it's turned a little bit. And I'm not exactly sure why. I think this weekend the 2 areas that killed us were second chance points and points off turnovers. That was the story. We didn't handle the ball well. We didn't, and we gave them too many easy baskets. But it hasn't been that way the whole season.
And opponents are really focusing on stopping the transition game for the Ducks. They're not letting you get out and run, are they?
No, and that's when we're at our best. But at the same time, if you're giving up 23 offensive rebounds like we did against USC, it's hard to get out and go. Yeah. You got to get stops, and you got to get rebounds and get out and go. I think defensively as well, we're not creating as much, where we've got to get some tips, get some steals, get some things to where we have an advantage in transition. It's a lot of different things, to be honest with you. That's what makes it so difficult as a coach. It's not just one thing we've got to fix. By and large, we take care of the ball well. We haven't in a few games. Yeah. So I don't think that's an issue. We've rebounded well for the most part. most of the year we've been a really good, solid rebounding team, including against Stanford. The only team that has out-rebounded Stanford in 20-some-odd games were the Ducks. So it kind of revolves. It's something new each and every game. And bottom line, though, is I don't think we're shooting the ball well as we can, and just offensively playing with that kind of intensity that we need to.
You got that Sabrina Ionescu out there as Director of Athletic Culture. And I remember I asked Grace Van Slooten last week, and I said, you utilize that? She goes, yes, I just was texting with her. So a lot of players utilizing that and talking with Sab?
Yeah, that's her job. That's the role. She's there to mentor them when they're feeling low or whatever. She, I know, watches all our games on Synergy. We've talked before. She'll give some suggestions. But mainly her job is to be there for the players when they need her. And I think Chance has reached out. I know Tahina has reached out to her. They have a communication, between each other, and that's important.
Yeah. How do they do? They text? That's kind of the way the kids do it. Now, I guess text.
I know.
I would call, but
of course I would call. Yeah, that's our generation, big guy.
Yeah.
That's our generation.
All right, 4 games left, and you know what? If you win all 4, you're 9-9. You'd be 18-11 heading to the conference tournament, and that is pretty much identical. Well, actually, a win better than Sabrina and Ruthie when they were freshmen, and you'd be fighting. You'd be that team that nobody wants to play.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Yeah, we still have a chance. I think as high as we could climb is 6th place in the conference standings. Which is great, if you're a 6th seed. That's not a bad seed, but we've got to win 4. I mean, that's still a tall task. All 4 of these games are winnable, no question about it, but they're all 4 losable. Mm-hmm. We've got to play better. We've got to find a way. Today, when I meet with the team, we're going to talk about what we have left. I know you always say one game at a time, and we do take that approach. However, I think at this point it'll be a positive to see the big picture. You guys, I know how we feel. I know where we're at. I know we're disappointed, but there's still a lot to play for. I'm convinced that if we can get 18 wins, I think we're still in the field. Our numbers are great. Our offense and defensive efficiencies are in the top 25 in the country. Our net rating, we're still a top 20. I don't know where we've...
I didn't look this morning.
Yeah, but we're still up there, high enough. But you've got to have some quality wins, and you've got to have the number of wins. And so I still think if we can get to 18, I think we'll be in the field. That means 3 out of these 4 and 1 in the tournament, or 2 out of these 4 and 2 in the tournament. But I think that's kind of the magic number for us.
All right. Well, Coach, I'm a believer. I still think it can be done. I'm an optimist.
And I am too, big guy. I am too. And I hope people stick with us.
Yes.
And I know social media can be ugly. I stay off it. So anybody thinks that you're sending something that'll affect me, you're crazy, because I don't even look at it or see it. But this team, they feel bad. They know, right? They know, and they want to do better, and we're capable. And this has been a great program, and I think that even weighs on them more. They know how good we've been, and so hopefully everybody, all those true Duck fans, and I know they're out there, all of them. I truly do that believe in this team, that love this team, and we're going to do our best down the stretch.
All right, thanks, Coach. Let's go.
Okay, buddy. All right.
All right, there you go, head coach Kelly Graves. All right, we need to roll. Taya Hanson coming up next here on Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
At Mountain Dew, we'd like to remind you that the world as we know it would not exist without the number 0. Which is why, at Mountain Dew, we'd like to recognize the number 0 for making Mountain Dew Zero Sugar possible. Even with no sugar, it packs all of the bold citrus kick Dew Nation knows and loves. It's so good, you have no reason not to try it. As in 0. Get it? Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. It's zero sugar, all dew.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
You're listening to Oregon Basketball from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday. Terry Jonz, as we're talking Oregon women's basketball, as Joey Mack heading to the airport and joining the men on their way to Seattle. Taya Hanson transferred from Arizona State. Let's get to know Taya, now a Duck. All right, Taya, as we're talking with the pride of Kelowna, British Columbia.
Yes.
Tell us about Kelowna.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so lucky to have grown up there. It's this beautiful city on a massive lake surrounded by mountains. So, that's where my outdoorsy adventure side all came from.
Yeah, snow? Is there snow?
Snow, yeah, there's snow. I don't think there's any snow right now. It's been a little more mild, but we do get snow in the wintertime. I've had a white Christmas every single year growing up, and it's so magical.
Well, I ordered a little snow for you this morning, just a dusting. Is that okay?
I loved it. It was perfect for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's right. It is Valentine's Day. I better remember that when I get home.
Please tell me you wished your wife a happy Valentine's.
Okay, I did. We'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, Terry.
All right, tell us about your family.
Yeah, so I have a younger sister. She's 19, but she's absolute boss. I am the proudest big sister ever.
Asia? Is that
Asia. Yeah, Asia. She will finish her degree in business from an online Canadian university by the end of probably May. And so she'll be done with that. She started early. She'll be completing it early, but she's been working full time for the last year and a half. Has been traveling around the U.S., doing the trade shows, doing business trips.
Whoa.
And yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I know you're very proud of her. Other sports, I know you did a lot of other things.
I
Well-rounded, not just basketball.
Yeah, no, I loved basketball, but I grew up doing diving, cross country, track and field, gymnastics, baseball, field hockey, volleyball. I think that wraps it up.
Maybe we should have went with what you haven't done, right? Is that?
I've not played hockey, but I know I know how to skate. Obviously, I'm a Canadian girl. You got to know how to skate. But never played hockey and not football. So.
But the well-roundedness.
Yes.
I mean, Americans have kind of gotten specialized. You pick your sport and sometimes too young. And I know a lot of coaches are understanding that, but it helps to prevent injuries when you're well-rounded, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I did sports school back in middle school and high school, and so we would, like 3 days a week, we'd either be doing gymnastics, track, and then doing weights, working out, and then have a fun day to do different sports. So I think that's why I've been so healthy, been able to stay so healthy, is just building that strong base of athleticism, having my muscles and body move in different ways to prevent those injuries.
Yeah. Let's talk academics. Now you do you have your master's or working on it?
I am working on it right now. Yeah, so I got my undergrad at ASU in business marketing, and now I'm getting my master's in advertising and brand responsibility. So it's a 1-year program, which is perfect for me because sadly you only have me for a year.
I know. I've told you. I said, man, I wish we had you for more. But glad you're here.
Oh, me too.
No doubt about it. You're always so joyful. You know,
it's hard not to be.
I know,
Life
but you
is
do
good.
that. You do that, and I know. I mean, even in the midst of some things that aren't going well, and it might take a few minutes, but you always end up with that smile. Where's that come from? Where's that joy come from? Your family?
Honestly, yeah, I have to give credit to my family. We've always looked at life with the glass half full mentality, and you know, I do have this faith background, and that joy comes from somewhere else that's beyond me, and I love that because I know I can't carry this all the time without some help. So it's definitely rooted in God's love for me, and just to wake up every day with knowing that it's a gift, and to make the most of it, because I mean, I only have so much time left. I'm a 5th-year senior, and days are counting down. There's 5 more games left guaranteed, so trying to make the most of every day.
Yeah, you want to go play professionally?
I do, yeah. I love ball, and I love traveling the world. So I've been so fortunate to play for Team Canada since I was 14 years old, and travel the world with that team and meet so many different people and play against the best of the best. I mean, this summer I was in Sydney, Australia, Birmingham, England. I was in Toronto for a bit, and then I did take a little time, which I never get, and I did a little Europe trip by myself. And visit a couple countries there. So.
Oh, I saw Paris.
Yes.
Right? Was that?
Yep.
Or was that earlier?
No, that was the summer that I was in Paris, Barcelona, Montserrat, Mallorca, Vienna, and Amsterdam.
Wow. You went alone?
I did.
That's you. That's just so you. A lot of people can't do that, but you can.
I met people along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Met some friends, some old teammates that I played with there, but traveled alone, stayed in hostels. It was a blast.
Yeah.
I'll do it again anytime.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
Team Canada, back to that. How many medals do you have? I know you won a gold with the Commonwealth Games,
summer.
3-on-3,
yeah,
right?
3x3, gold medal. That was a surreal experience. I mean, we were not supposed to do that, but we pulled it off. And I'm so proud of our group. And we are the youngest, least experienced 3x3 team. None of us had ever played before. And so we came out and beat the pros and beat people that have been playing it for some time, and all older than us. So got to have a gold medal there. I have a couple silver medals, and another gold medal with Team Canada. And then this summer we came 4th in the world. So at the World Cup.
Yeah, that must have been fantastic in Australia. And Philly was with you.
Philly was
Filipina
with me.
Che, Team
Yes.
Canada. You were teammates. How about Philly? Just talk about her. You know, you're a 5th year. You've seen players and see how sometimes they surprise you, how they progress.
Yeah.
Philly isn't surprising us because she's so athletic.
I know.
6'8". Where do you think she's going to go? Her ceiling's high, isn't it?
I'm just waiting for it to just click. You know, to make that little connection of like, heck, I'm a beast. I'm 6'8". I can dunk. Like, I'm like waiting for this girl to dunk in a game. I know it's gonna happen. I hope while I'm here it'll happen, but who knows?
Yeah, I asked her that last year. I think we were waiting for a plane in the airport. I said, Philly, you ever gonna go up and just with 2 hands just ram it down and right on? She goes, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. I was like, all right,
that's
I can't
the
wait for
confidence
that.
we
Yes.
need, right?
Yeah, she can. By the way, go to Taya's Instagram if you want to see her life story. It is amazing. I was surprised. I mean, that's part of what I do is look at social media to prepare to talk to a player or anybody.
I try to put stuff out there.
Cliff diving. What I wrote. What
Cliff
Paris
diving.
we talked about. Did you swim with the sharks? Is that what I
Swam
was?
with sharks.
You play the ukulele. You were on the beach. Play the ukulele.
I
what
try to
else?
teach myself. I dirt bike. I love hiking. Have not skydived yet, but that's up there on the list. Yeah, I'm a big thrill seeker and anything outdoors, adventure. I just love being in nature and experiencing its beauty. So anything to give me like a little rush too.
Yeah.
But like wake surfing, I grew up snow skiing, slalom skiing in the summertime. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You have no fear.
No, not a lot.
Not really?
Not
Yeah.
really.
You don't get up there and go. I mean, have you bungee jumped?
I haven't yet. I just haven't had the opportunity. But that second, I'm going. Woo!
Gosh, if I got there, I think, nope, never mind. I changed my mind. I would change my mind. We had to talk about first coming to Oregon, deciding to come to Oregon. Getting the portal, that had to be a tough decision. I know when Charlie left, that probably made it a little easier, or you probably wouldn't be here.
No, I would still be at ASU. You know, Charlie's impacted my life in more ways than one, and I'm thankful for the time that I got to spend with her and just learn from her in leadership. And she's such a tough woman, and such a inspiration to so many people. And we adore her. I adore her. I'm so proud that she's now broadcasting, doing things like this, and she's very good at it. So she's doing what she loves, still doing a little coaching on the side. But you know, I chose Oregon because of the fans. That was a huge decision, or reason why I decided to come here, because you guys are amazing, and I've played against you for the last 4 years. I know what that's like, and it's tough. It's really tough. So now I'm just so happy to be wearing the right colors on your side of the team and it's just been it's been a blast, and I'm so thankful for Duck Nation.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good place to end it, because that's all the time we have anyway.
No.
But we could talk forever.
Yeah, we could.
Taya, thanks for coming and being a Duck.
Thank you for having me, Terry.
All right. There you go, Taya Hanson. Isn't she great? Just what a personality, and has a pretty nice shot too. Doing great at that. And by the way, the men, as Joey Mack heading up to Washington, 8 o'clock tomorrow against the Huskies, a Wednesday, Sunday. So they're flying back. So they are student athletes, so they'll be able to go to class on Thursday and Friday, and then head back to Pullman. It's kind of crazy the way that schedule worked out. But then they play 4 o'clock in Pullman against Washington State on Sunday. The women, 7 o'clock on Friday against Washington State in Pullman, and then at 1 o'clock on Sunday in Seattle against who we play in Seattle? It's Washington. That's them. The ones that wear that purple. Yeah, they don't wear Nikes either, so that just makes it, it's... There you go. Another reason just to go up and beat them, right? Hopefully 2 wins by the men, 2 wins by the women. Wouldn't that be perfect? Absolutely. And don't forget, in Eugene, KUJZ 95.3 FM for both women's games this weekend. Instead of your usual KUGN baseball, we'll be doing that. Let's go, Ducks. Let's get some wins. Let's go.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve